Stay tuned, McWarriors, and welcome back to another episode of RogueTech as we continue the campaigns of Howl's Harrows. And last time, well, we managed to get quite an interesting bit of work done, although the javelin, or not the javelin, the Hachi took I will get to it eventually. The Usagi took a little bit of an unfortunate tumble. We do need to redesign and rebuild that mech eventually. It is unfortunately not in the greatest condition ever. It was good for the lulls to begin with, but I think it's starting to fall off a little bit as the enemy gets a little bit better. But that is neither here nor there. We also saw last time there were 2 test drives in a row, so guess what we're doing today? Yeah, we've captured the latest pride and joy of Comstar, a Nightstar NSR 9J. Our scientists have been reverse engineering the monster, but now they need real battle data before they can continue. We'd like you to provide that data. We've located a pirate lance to use as a guinea pig. Take the NSR 9J down to the planet and eliminate the lance. Needless to say, we don't have another one of these, so it is imperative that you return it intact. This will be a 2-skull mission, 4 of 17 priority selves, 356,400 C-bills, and a full house lance. So let's drop down on these people and see if we can't cause a little bit of pain and nightmares for them. Alrighty, so... Oh, okay, so apparently test drive's not working out nearly as well as they're supposed to be doing. It's not the worst thing in the world, but we'll get over it. Okay, so apparently we're not bringing the entire full house. We're going to be doing 2 drops of less than full thing. I'm really glad now that I have all of my heaviest mechs in that first lance. So we have Howl currently driving the Nightstar 9JS, something like that. The Nightstar NSR 9J. It is equipped with 2 Gauss rifles, an AR-PPC, a small laser, and 2 medium pulse lasers. So that's a pretty decent amount of firepower, and also I'm just a big fan of the Nightstar's design. I kind of prefer it to have the somewhat down-sloped arms like it originally had when it came in MechWarrior Online when the redesign happened, but this is just fine. We then have a Paladin in the Wolverine, a little bit lightly armored, but we're going to be working on that in the somewhat near future. Jester in the always reliable Shadowhawk with his giant Risk MML-15, which hopefully will do quite a bit of good work. And then Paradox in the Gladiator, which has demonstrated to be just hilariously good in many ways. And I can't wait to get even more damage onto it. Alright, so without further ado, let us set out and see if we can't run into the enemy. The pirate forces are somewhere off over here. The Nightstar must survive. I wonder if the enemy opposition is tuned for us only having 4 mechs, or if they actually do have the additional lances. We can only hope that it's tuned for us. So we'll start sprinting our way into the forest where we're nice and safe. 20% damage reduction as long as you're in here, and we'll get on top of the enemy and hopefully blitz them before they can do anything too dangerous. Howl is of course going to be moving at 14 because the Nightstar just so happens to be a much heavier mech than most people. Yeah, it's a 95-ton assault. So this is, I think, the first time we've ever actually fielded an assault, and it's not ours. We're currently borrowing it. The twin Gauss rifles ought to be able to do excellent jobs at punching holes in things. Now that is actually not as good as the Nightstar can be. Enemy has been located. It's a Locust with fairly decent accuracy. Why don't you see if you can't put it... Not sure what I did. Put it into the ground. Okay, I think you missed most of the ultra-autocannon shots, which appears to not be great. We've also located up to the north a Scorpion and more forces off over here, apparently. Not entirely sure on that one. Yeah, this Nightstar can be way, way deadlier. The NSR 9J is basically the stock Nightstar. And so as good as that is as a 95-tonner, we are playing RogueTech, and RogueTech gives you access to the entirety of all of the arsenals ever in BattleTech ever created, and then some. So... well, we managed to nail him with the autocannon, and Torat is like, okay, we're going to be able to take out the Locust in this round, and that'll be the first thing to be done. But that means that Nightstar, you can throw Endosteel on there, you can throw a light engine on there, you could throw a Clan XL in there. There's a lot of kit that you can put in that mech and have a really good time. Incoming Scout, driving forward and going to open fire with a single medium laser. That's pretty much all it's got. It's an Scout. It is designed to locate you and sensorize you, and that's about it. Alright, Howl, shall we get an idea of just how much power we have brought to the table with this mech? I'm actually not sure if this is a good idea. I probably should have gone for the Locust. But look at the heat control. No problem at all. Fire! She managed to hit with both the PPC and one of the Gauss rifles. So that Scout is having a bit of a bad day. We also have something with an autocannon. I didn't quite see it. Maybe it's a Vulcan. Vulcans are always fun. No, it is a tank. So we're dealing with a Vedette. Vedettes are totally ignorable and not something that I would ever sort of waste my time with. Even when we manage to get ourselves to have vehicles in this game, I'm probably never going to bother with it. Aim for the legs and shut off both of the Risk MMLs, right? Yeah, each one of these doesn't quite have enough firepower, so one of the MMLs on fire. Okay, you missed with the one, but... didn't quite take his leg out, which is unfortunate. I think we can plus though. Yeah, his leg is being held on with hopes and dreams. Well, not quite that bad, actually. Let's be honest, the mech is still reasonably intact. I mean, it's on the ground, which makes it a little bit less reasonably intact, but we've got no problems with that. The reason why I deactivated some of that is because the risk MMLs do have a fairly unfortunate habit of, well, jamming, and that's not particularly excellent. We're going to move right up next to him. I figured the chances were going to be better. All right, activate all single weapon systems and open fire. And just nailing with the snubs at close range, followed up by those SRMs. He is now unsteady and vulnerable, moving at a space of 15, so I should be able to just keep this train moving. He shouldn't be moving till like 1, so I'm not all that worried about it. The Wolverine, however, does utilize an ultra autocannon and therefore cannot get that close to the target. The UAC-5 is a bit of a long-range plinking gun, so if you get a little bit too close, it becomes a little bit of a problem. Luckily for us, we can hang slightly back. Yeah, it's gonna have to, I would like a direct line of sight if you can provide one while still having... yeah, that'll do. Shift over to the side, give him a front angle shot, but we're on fire. And I was kind of hoping that things like that would happen. All right, so he's going to be falling down now, so we've got that. That's 2 of their mechs currently on the ground, although they're both light mechs. So how important that is to you is really going to vary. I'm going to shift over here, see if we can't wipe out this little locust as soon as we can. We'll have the Night Star finish off the Scout. Go for his leg, shut off the autocannon to make sure that we settle the gun, and let it rip. Okay, both legs destroyed. Don't kill too much, don't kill too much. Ooh, Dreadnought Gyro has been crit but not destroyed. That should be a lovely little loot pinata that we have managed to just mostly take intact. So that's going to be wonderful. Vedette moving forward with an AC-5, did not manage to get a shot on, and the Night Star will stride on into battle. I want one of these really badly. I like Night Stars. I think Night Stars are really cool. Do me a favor, just, well, put a shell right through his center torso. Yeah. Completely wiped out. I love the pulse laser backup. It's 6 additional shots. And we got the head hit just to add insult to injury. I feel a little bit bad for what we just did to that pilot. Oh, this Night Star is so fun. I can't wait till I get one. What I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to give it an extra Clan XL engine, because by that point I figure I'll have a Clan XL engine. And I will put a big-ass engine into this thing, and it's going to run. Alright, so let's start moving on forward. Twin SRM-6s or an AC-5. The AC-5 is a better hull puncher, but I'm a little bit worried about this, so we're going to open fire with everything. Managed to miss with one of the autocannon 5s, but that's okay. The Gladiator will come in and clean up. It's kind of what it's designed to do. Twin PPCs followed up by a whole bunch of shots, a whole bunch of track propulsion crits. Not exactly sure what it does anymore. Jester, I don't think is in a... Oh, he might have a shot, especially if he sprint. Yes, he does have a shot from there. We will attempt to take it. We did, after all, let the cannon settle. I'm not going to fire the cannon into that, but we will fire the missiles. And it did manage to be just enough to destroy it. I'm kind of surprised he didn't hit the Gladiator. That's the reason why I didn't fire the AC-10, because I was worried about shooting the Gladiator in the back, but apparently was not a major concern. We are down to just a single Vedette medium tank, which I intend to annihilate. Bouncing that mostly off the armor. The 40 damage is unfortunate. Please tell me you're not an ace, all vehicles are ace pilots. I'm struggling to think of many tank captains that are not ace pilots in this game, just because it makes perfect sense in order to drastically improve vehicles, because vehicles kind of sucked. And then they may have gone too far. They probably haven't, but I still have complaints. Okay, so we did manage to hit him with the PPC, did not manage to hit him with any of the Gauss rifles, so that's alright so far. We're feeling a bit inspired because we think we have this perfectly in the bag, which, you know, if you manage to wipe out the entire enemy force by, you know, round 5, of which 2 of those were traveling rounds, I think we're feeling a little confident. Managed to nail him with the autocannon follow-up of the MMLs, did a good amount of damage on that. Paradox is probably in a good position to actually follow this up. Yeah, open fire. Just ripping into it, and that tears him apart. That is the entirety of the enemy force destroyed. Yep, everybody's dead. Oh, no, she'll be here soon. Oh yeah, the enemy shows up shortly after. So let's start to run, although I do probably want to actually steal everything that I can get my hands on. We took this one for maximum salvage, and as cool as that Locust was, it's not that cool. Okay, we're going to be right on top of the enemy, which is going to be interesting. Paladin needs to keep his Wolverine not on top of the enemy for obvious reasons. Paladin's Wolverine is very much designed for long-range combat. I believe that the Night Stars can have a similar problem. The ERPPC does not have a minimum range, which is great, but the Gauss rifles do. The pulse lasers don't, and he just a metric ton of firepower in that pulse laser. We're going to swing the Gladiator around, allow it to chill out in this round using its prototype radical double heatsink, or no, not radical, just prototype radical heatsink kit, not double. On the Night Star, we are positioned behind the rock where it will be protected. The enemy won't know we're coming. Alright, so they've landed right on top of us. Looks like they've got Davian markings, which ought to be interesting. I'm seeing electronic countermeasure jamming going on. Seeing 3 units. We've got an Owens, a Stealth, and That's not an Annihilator, is it? Okay, no, it's not. It's just a stealth. I'm not sure what a stealth is, but we're going to find out. So we're looking at 3 units so far. Hopefully they will move first. That way we can just, you know, let them not protect themselves well enough. Owen's shifting wide off to the distance, moving at a reasonable pace, although he is now vulnerable because he's the only one who hasn't gone yet. Although we're not exactly moving super high on the track anymore, mainly because we've got 2 pretty solid mediums and then Howls and an assault. Not quite sure how Paradox is just so gosh darn high on this tally though, which I'm not complaining about. Rolling a 21 is phenomenal in a medium mech like that, so we're going to lead on that quite a bit. See how the enemy intends to respond as the Owens sits there. Although the Owens currently has some problems with it. In fact, a fix just came out recently that I need to apply, and I haven't. Hopefully that's not going to break the game, because if it does, then, well, that was a really, really excellent way of beginning a mission, and if it's crashed on me, I'm going to be very disappointed, because I really like this Nightstar. I mean, the twin Gauss rifles is a very nice, solid setup. It's very reminiscent of a lot of MechWarrior Online builds where it goes twin heavy Gauss, because the twin heavy Gauss idea, oh, it seems to be good. So the twin heavy Gauss idea is that you've got just a stupid amount of pinpoint, and so I really want to get my hands on a heavy Gauss rifle. Do you have a helicopter? Yeah, that's a VTOL. That's a little tiny VTOL. But yeah, the twin heavy Gauss is just absurd amounts of pinpoint, and when it hits you, it hits like the absolute biggest truck you've ever seen. Stealth is going to bounce right up close and personal. I think he wants to be incredibly aggressive, and I'm not sure if that's the most brilliant plan that he's ever had, but I'm not going to argue with him. Enforcer, standard setup, not moving all that quickly. Let's see what we can do. My Gladiator is designed specifically for this kind of close-range combat, buddy. I think you may have made a mistake. Open fire. Okay, we did miss, unfortunately, with one of our weapons. However, we did have one of the PPCs. We did manage to follow up with a fairly solid connection with everything else. Oh, the Wolverine took a shell to the back. I'm willing to bet that shot came from the Nightstar's Gauss rifle. The Shadowhawk, on the other hand, can probably clean this up. I will put my back to an Enforcer to do it. I would very much not like to do that, I'm going to be honest. Because if I do that, the Enforcer is going to hurt me. Although maybe not. Let's gamble a little bit, see if we can't wipe this guy out before anything too dangerous can happen. Fire! I think we hit him with the cannon. Medium laser crit. He is not having a great day. The Nightstar probably is not going to be in a position to really follow up on that soon. The Wolverine, however, can't. The Wolverine is not currently rigged for this sort of engagement. I would like to see that second unit, and I'm going to try and protect my back while at the same time engaging that VTOL, because the Ferret is going to be an easy shot. Knock it out. Okay, yeah, completely gone. Annihilated in its entirety. We don't have to worry about the VTOL at all. Howl. Yeah, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to start putting big holes in things. Probably not going to target you just because of the accuracy, but you, on the other hand, we have a brilliant set of shots. Fire! Okay, managed to hit him with the PPC as well as one of the Gauss rifles on him, so that's going to be unfortunate for him, would probably be the best way to put it. I'm not sure where the stealth's going to go. I'm really hoping that this 19 is the Owens and we get to follow this up before the stealth gets to move away, because if Paradox can get that Gladiator to fire one more round of shooting into this, it's going to kill him. Owens popping right back into the fight. You thought he was done, but he was not. Getting a ton of damage late into the Wolverine. Luckily for us, wasn't actually in the back, so we're feeling okay. I mean, it's not great, but yeah, doing okay. The Wolverine needs to... Do we know how fast you're moving? You are moving in the... We have 17. Yeah, so you're going to be on the roll before I can do anything about you, aren't you? Do you have a shot on anybody? You do not. So we will just... Because he shot down the VTOL in the last round. Could start putting more pressure on the Enforcer, but my concern is if I'm too close to this Owens may actually hurt me in ways that I don't want to be able to contemplate at the moment. So we're going to see if we've got a decent enough angle. I could jump. Jumping is always an option when it comes to fighting. That might do. Let's see what we've got here. Accuracy is not as good as I was hoping for. However, it'll be better than what else I can get. So a couple of hits on the Owens. Owens are very light mechs. They're Omni Scouts, which, you know, fairly solid Omni Scouts, but they're still Omni Scouts. So we're currently being jammed the heck by his electronic countermeasure, which that was probably a pretty good move. We're going to see what this stealth is going to do. I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't move very far so that I can just keep the pressure on. Hopefully also they won't kill my Nightstar, because my Nightstar is kind of important. He's going to bounce over to the side, see if he can't get himself covered, but he's not going to have moved far enough. Okay, Paradox, you take that Gladiator and you just sprint and you get right in behind him, because that was what you were built to do. Keep firing. Managed to miss with most of that. We did get a crit on his XL engine, so I might be able to follow that up with Jester. Probably not, actually. The Shadowhawk is not quite that quick, although his arm is exposed. I don't know what he has for weapons. Howl is gonna, I think, just start brawling with this. Yeah, he's gonna start brawling. Brawling with Gauss rifles and PPCs. Not exactly a thing, but we can shift on over and we'll start to spin. Protect ourselves as the best we can, keep the group together. Jester could also start putting some serious pressure on this Enforcer. Yeah, his armor is almost gone, actually. Or we may want to go for the Owens. Nah, the Owens hasn't been badly dented just yet. I think I want to keep the pressure going on towards the stealth for now. It has jumped quite considerably, but I can keep the pressure going down. This will be the last of our listen kill ammunition, which is a bit unfortunate. But the pressure definitely going down. And I'm going to just hope that Paradox manages to roll a little bit better in the next round. AC-10 fire as well as the medium lasers, not able to connect on the Night Star, so it is an AC-10 and triple mediums instead of the AC-10 and large laser that it normally is, and it's going to start walking on forward, and he's on fire. And fire is breaking out all over the place. Back to phase 21. You are moving on 20. You are moving on 21. Darn it, we've been beat. We beat the Owens, but we're about to get beat by this stealth. I'm a little bit worried, although the Wolverine is off to the side, so it should be a little bit better protected. Shifting over to the side, gonna blast into the back of the Night Star. A lot of damage all over the place, and structure exposed already. Jeez.
Isn't looking too good.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's really bad. The Night Star, unfortunately, has an XL engine. Paradox. Yeah, this guy is not getting away. We are going to run him down. One of our MMLs has unfortunately jammed. I still can get the angle that I require. Hi, buddy. My PPCs will eventually destroy you at some point. You just got to give me enough time. Oh, he's dead. Oh, we killed him. And our MML has managed to jump, which is lovely. Let's start to push a little bit since I don't want to let anybody in behind me anymore. You have really good accuracy over here, and we're going to flush the last of my listen kill, or... No, we're going to set it to normal SRMs just so we can keep the salvo fire going as much as possible. Nailed him with the AC-10, followed up, and he got some crits on his engine core, which tells us his CT has been exposed. Paladin, you have a decent shot, yes? It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. Good follow-up double tap on that one, and we're just going to pull back a little bit more. I don't want this Owens getting behind me because this mech is currently vulnerable if you get behind him. However, I'm not quite sure where that'll do. That will do for now. Let's see what the Owens wishes to do. Hopefully he won't be able to get behind the Night Star because the Night Star are very vulnerable right now. It does have an XL engine, which makes it incredibly vulnerable. It's one of the things I don't like about mechs like this. So do you already have the Endo? You don't. So, first things first would be to put a Clan XL in this. Oh, you sat still, you idiot. I shouldn't complain, but I'm going to. Do you have a target here? You do. It's on the Enforcer, and it's pretty good chances. This is even better because he didn't move, but you know what? That Enforcer has got to die. So let's continue to fire. Managed to nail with one of the Gauss rifles and a follow-up of several other the medium pulse lasers. Not as much damage as I was kind of hoping for, but he is unsteady now, and we're just going to continue our sort of phased retreat back, keep it under protection and under cover, while the Enforcer gets to now shoot back. Luckily for us, managed to miss with everything. Oh, 2 mediums and a small, not 3 mediums. Okay, so he's even less dangerous than I thought he was. He is going to be able to get re-steadied, but that is going to slow him down a little bit, the fact that he was unsteady at all. And his gun has jammed. Paladin, yeah, you've got this, yes? You absolutely have this. Pull back slightly. Yes, that'll be good. And see if you can annihilate him. And there goes an Owens. Yep, that's gone. Engine destroyed. XL engines are incredibly vulnerable. There's a reason why I hate having them on mechs that I use. Because they're just so incredibly vulnerable. If you lose a side torso, suddenly your entire mech dies. Much, much more dangerous if you actually have only a center torso mounted engine. Apparently that cleared the AO. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like 1 or 2 more rounds of dropping. But hey, I'm not going to complain on that one. So the Night Star is in mostly good condition. I mean, it's not badly damaged. Just a little bit. And that only shows how well the armor and underlying superstructure can take damage. That's the excuse I'm going to go with, and hopefully they'll give it back. Yeah, apparently unit was not deployed, which is fine. So we'll just keep that in mind for our next one. A whole bunch of mech parts. I could actually pick up most of a stealth, but it's a 45-ton mech. I'm looking for bigger. The Enforcer, there is a part there, but again, it's a little bit light. I believe there's better equipment to be had. Streaks, tag, a beagle, cockpits, small and normal. A couple of internal combustion engines. We'll probably steal this 250. Although I'm not sure on that. Guardian ECM, I think I have, yeah, I have one of those. So not a big deal if we take it or not. No double heatsink kit, which is kind of disappointing. And actually, really, that little tiny locust that we actually killed, I'm a little bit disappointed that he didn't have more than what he did. So we're probably going to get most of this. Yes, we're probably looking at stealing most of this. So I should grab Beagle Active Probe. I need a tag, and I was looking for a tag, and I didn't have one. 250 rated fusion core because they're great. They're very, very solid medium to heavy engine cores. A little bit light for a heavier engine core, but they do work out pretty nicely. And we'll grab the Guardian ECM suite to go with it because we don't need the SRM ammo, the machine gun, ammo AC5, don't want basic cockpits, don't need 16 jump jets that are apparently there. We really don't need the double heatsink. I mean, we've got 5 of them and we don't use them very often. We definitely don't need normal heatsinks. I just sold a whole bunch of these. Fire control system, no. Internal, no. These two, no. More cockpits, which are basics, no. The streaks are too small for me to care about. Small lasers, don't need them. Machine guns, don't need them. I think I sold all my normal machine guns because I have all machine gun pluses, so I'm not going to bother with these. I'll just sell them if I get them again. And medium laser magnet. The medium pulse might be the only thing in this thing that I might want to steal, but other than that, everything else here is just sorely disappointing, aside from the mech parts. Lock it in. Okay, so we got the Enforcer part anyway. We also got an Oscout and an Owens part. Managed to pick up a pair of Locust and 3 from the Stealth, so that's nice. I'm not particularly sure what the Anna means on this one because it made me think Annihilator. We got the Medium Laser plus the Magna, as well as some cockpits and the 16 jump jets we didn't need. But hey, at least we can sell all that junk for additional supplies, which, you know, that might turn out okay. After all, we are linked to the faction. Unfortunately, the faction doesn't currently own this planet. So we do need to keep heading towards like the actual front of the war, but it is quite a distance from what I can tell. It's a bit hard to read the maps that are in the war room right now, so I'm going to have to bug somebody to say, hey, where am I actually supposed to be going? Not that we're really involved in the high-level war effort just yet, but we're getting there, and hey, we just fielded a Night Star, so clearly we are involved in something cool. The Wolverine is going to need a little bit of a patch job. After all, it did take a full-on Gauss rifle shell to the back, and luckily for us, didn't blow up. So once we get that all fixed up, that'll be wonderful because it's a very useful mech of ours, and we'll be able to take it on the next mission, which is going to be test driving a catapult. Steiner taking from Clan Jade Falcon 20,000 for the next 5 days. A bit unfortunate because there are only 9 days left in the month. Although if nobody else actually took any damage, yeah, we can actually. Yeah, the kit's decay is not going to be done before the end of the month, but we can turn this around in 3 days. So 1, 2, and 3. Stop. So we managed to get all of our mechs back and ready to rock and roll. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, it's going to be another week or another couple of days before we actually manage to field the hammer, which I really am looking forward to because I built it and I'm super happy to use it. It's going to take some time. Quick check of the mech warriors who actually deployed in the battle. Did they all get like deployment bonuses on that? So I'm going to check everybody just in case. Oh, Jester did get a level up. Okay, Jester is on 7. Can start heading towards. Oh, I can start heading towards the Gunnery and Warlord. What else can he get? Picks up additional melee accuracy and a 10% sprint bonus, which is nice. Plus 2 health and injury reserve. And sensor distance. Which, you know, that ain't bad, but. Oh. The 10% sprint or the travel to gunnery. What are you, just in terms of what you've got? You're a merchant, you're military, so you get no bonuses to melee combat, or not melee combat, but gunnery combat. So we're not saving anything. Probably going to make you a warlord, just because of the way that we normally go warlord. I mean, Ghost Mech is good too. This is, what, a 2.5% increase? It's just a 2%. Yeah, we'll give it the 2%, I think. Because that'll put him in a position to grab gunnery soon. No, we'll probably level it up normal. Taking the 10% sprint. It's more useful. Mockingbird did not deploy. Paladin, Paradox, and Showboat. Showboat's our new company person because I thought I was going to need to drop 8 mechs and Finn was on hiatus, so we hired Amanda on Showboat. My only downside with her is she's a drunk, but everything else that she had was fairly decent. Would allow me to level her up pretty quickly to keep her somewhat viable. We're going to have to take some lower level missions and actually make her totally viable. Quick check of the mech bay, make sure nothing is actually broken. Everything is good. We already checked this. I don't know why. And let's go on our second little test drive. Alrighty, test drive the second, and again, we're going to do this for all stuff. I mean, it's 1.3 million Seabills, which is a lot of Seabills, but I'm kind of hoping that we can field a way better field. Alright, Wolverine down, and, yeah, Paladin, no, everybody moves down by 1, and I put a Howl in the catapult. Why? Because it's a catapult and it's going to be a lot of fun. It is a K5 variant, which I'm not particularly sure what it is. Maybe I should have checked beforehand, but this is fine. Paladin will be in the Shadowhawk, Jester in the Gladiator, and Paradox in the Wolverine, because Jester in the Gladiator should work out quite nicely with his additional sprint to get close combat down. Just in case, I will also field the rest of the crew. So these two, you down one, and the Phoenix Hawk, just in case if we happen to suddenly deploy, if that was only a fluke, I want to be able to actually field the entire company in relatively short order, because it's important to me that we actually drop with everything that we've got. I don't know if this increases my lance costs anyway. Well, it does increase my lance costs, but just in case, if it gives us the ability to actually field the entire company, that would be more ideal. Although we've gone from a 95-ton assault mech as our test drive backup to a 65-ton heavy mech, which is normally rigged for fire support, but I'm not sure what the K5 is about. K5, for all I know, could be just an absolute nightmarish monster of death and destruction, or, you know, it could be just basically the normal catapult with additional missiles, which would not be ideal. It's probably not the Butterbee or Bumblebee or Butterfly, the one that has a whole bunch of SRMs. And is a special hero variant of the mech, which clearly we do not have on this one, otherwise it would actually be specifically labeled. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that we don't actually get these mechs. I mean, yeah, it's nice to use them, but I would like parts to them too. I mean, that would be really, really cool if you were really willing to hand over some of them. By the way, I think we're going to be trying... probably doing a new voice for the Tortugan captain. I'm not really sold on the current Yar pirate voice, because it just sounds so forced and put on. Again, all voices that we do are a little bit forced and put on, but hey, we have a little bit of fun. So let me know, what are you thinking about that little pirate voice? Should we try something new? I know it's a little bit of a caricature, but that is kind of the fun of doing it. But then again, there are many other voices we could try out. After all, if you want to see most of the voices we ended up going through, go look through the latter half of our Urban Warfare campaign, or just the Flashpoint list, because we had to try out a whole ton of voices from that one. Anyway, we've captured the latest pride and joy of the Draconis Combine, a catapult CPLT K5. Our scientists have been reverse engineering the monster, but now they say they need real battle data before they can continue. We'd like you to provide that data. We've located a Davian lance to use as a guinea pig. Take the CPLT K5 down to the planet and eliminate the lance. Needless to say, we won't have another one of these, so it's important you return it intact. 417 priority salvage, just like the last one, 2 skulls and 389,600 Seabills for all your additional cash needs. Alright, dropping down, dropping hard, and we bring in all the electronic countermeasure. So let's, yeah, it does only drop the initial group. That's okay, as long as it didn't flood us with like 30 mechs. So let's check out our brand new Catapult K5. It is equipped with 2 medium pulses and a pair of MRM-30s. Okay, this thing's a monster. I love it. The MRM-30 is a phenomenal piece of weapons equipment. It is basically really excellent. -1 accuracy, of course, which is somewhat of a downside. It does not have improved MRMs, which is even more of a downside, so not ideal. And doesn't appear to have any sort of special fire control systems, although it does have a C3 slave. And I gotta say, the look of that design is actually really nice. Look at it. That is actually really sexy. So, lovely job. The catapults have always been really sexy. Alright, so now that we have taken a look at that, Paradox, you are going to lead us into battle in your Scout Wolverine. I mean, that actually does make a lot of sense. Wolverines are often often lance leaders for Scout lances, so they have command lances and everything. Which actually, in our Mecha HQ game that we're doing, our resident Shadowhawk pilot, I believe temporarily was inside a Wolverine, and he asked to see if he couldn't rip out the comm gear off of the Wolverine in order to give his Shadowhawk the command lance ability, which we decided was reasonable, as long as I gave him the small cockpit debuff. So it's a little bit more cramped in there, but he's able to, you know, command his lance a little bit better, although his lance is all, you know, fast cavalry mediums. And they're probably going to be adding a dragon to that lance, which ought to be interesting once we finally get this game restarted. The Gladiator right up on top of everybody, and we've located all of the VTOLs. Luckily for us, they're not actually moving. Oh. I want you. But first, I must kill... I must kill all of you. It's too important. We must shoot down the VTOLs. There's somewhere around here there is a location where that VTOL actually is. I'm not entirely sure where it is. Come on. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's off in the corner on the hill. So multi-target you, multi-target you. Aha, we got it. And we're going to send the MMLs off over to that target and open fire.
I copy.
So he's been shot down, no problem with the PPCs, and then the follow-up with the missiles. But we've got enough onto him. Not quite enough. Okay, he's going to need a little bit more. And hopefully Paradox has enough speed and positioning to give that a little bit more. Doesn't look like it, actually. It's just over the hill. I'm not going to be there in time. Unfortunately, he's going to be a little bit vulnerable. Unless the catapult... No, the catapult's not going to be there either. Can you jump? How far can you jump? You can jump a fair few ways, but not fast enough, unfortunately. So we'll keep the catapult running along the way. We will also need to make sure that we get our little Shadow Hawk up front so it can start providing better electronic countermeasure coverage. Unfortunately, that yellow jacket is probably going to move. Oh, hello. Is that a Gauss rifle? That's a hag, isn't it? A hyper assault Gauss rifle. It is basically the LBX of the Gauss world, and they're terrifying. They deal just metric tons of damage. I mean, they do have a little bit of a downside in the fact that they, unfortunately, spread their damage all over the place, unlike a Gauss rifle, which focuses it. So think of it like a silver bullet Gauss rifle that's always firing in the silver bullet scatter mode. So a little less than ideal in some things, but in other ways, it can just crit like a monster. So, unless it's like an AP Gauss or something, it is some ballistic. After all, the Nova's only 50 tons. So it's not exactly the biggest mech that's ever reached the inner sphere. The Harasser, I'm not all that worried about, although this energy could be very, very dangerous things if it's like a barrage tag. Yellow Jacket moving on forward. Ooh! He fired every single time, and he only hit us once, and he didn't move all that far either, so that's going to make life a lot easier. Okay, so I want the Wolverine basically shoot him down. Do you have the shot? You don't, because that would be... Right there would be preferred. Yeah, we're going to shoot it down, because I don't want to have to deal with this rack. And apparently he didn't jam it somehow. Also, apparently, we focused a lot of that damage onto the rotor itself, which is unfortunate. But we managed to shoot him down, so we've dealt with the VTOLs. That's 50% of the lance. So now we just need to hopefully pick apart this Nova, because this Nova would be lovely to have. It's clan tech. So what I kind of want to do is just wipe out this Harasser, just to make sure I don't have to worry about it, as we start trying to pick up the Nova. And there goes the Harasser. I love this thing. It's well designed, I think. If I do say so myself. Twin snubs and a pair of MML-10s. Well, risk MML-10s because they're extra light, which is amazing. And the Nova is going to basically run. Okay, I think that's a bad idea, but I'm not going to stop you from doing it. Novas often have AMS, but I don't think he does. We're not going to be able to get a direct line of sight on him, unfortunately, but we will chase him down. I will set up the listen kills just in order to keep the pressure on and fire. Missed with the cannon, missed with the lasers, but the missiles were bang on target. And he is probably running away from the catapult. If this catapult actually sees him, I mean, it deals 150 damage per launcher. Like, that's not total, per launcher. It can deal 300 damage. So I'm very looking forward to trying to get that damage in. Oh, good effect on target, utilizing that Ultra Autocannon 5. Have I mentioned I'm a fan of the Ultra Autocannon 5? Shadowhawk is going to keep the pressure down. Actually, if you just fired from here... Oh, it is an obstructed shot that's probably messing with you a little bit. But I do want to kind of just keep the pressure on without blocking anybody. I will move into the exposed terrain a little bit. Yes, it's not great, but it will allow us to keep the pressure going. And he is unsteady. Unfortunately, he's now going to be able to move. So we made him unsteady, but now he's going to shift over to the side. Probably going to shoot me in the back. Yeah, a little bit of scatter damage all over the place, but nothing too terrible. And he may have actually moved himself into range of Howl. Oh, he did. Unfortunately, he moved his back towards Howl. I think he knows that we want him intact. So MRMs are close range weapons, so we're going to get on close. Hiya, buddy. I've got a lot of firepower just for you. And just it keeps coming. Remember how he had... Oh, whoops.
That hit something good.
At least it's only a head 20.
Lots of armor.
Wait, who lost a lot of armor? Did I shoot through his back? No, it wasn't. Huh. Did you damage yourself? Somebody was complaining about lots of armor loss, and I'm not quite sure who. You've taken a lot of damage, and I'm going to not maneuver myself in a position to capitalize too much on that. And the reason is, I want to be able to knock him down multiple times. So we tore out the right torso, that's engine crit. Now he's going to be on the ground for extra unsettledness. Dude, bail out. I would not want to be you. Come on, just punch it. No, he's feeling confident. He thinks he's got it. Paladin, your Shadowhawk should be in, was in a lovely position to capitalize. Shift on over here, so we look down at him. I'd like to take his legs. Just because if we take his legs, then we can take the entirety of the mech. Oh, we killed the engine, although we didn't kill his center torso, so we should be able to steal his stuff. Okay, we'll start heading towards the evac zone because we get like one turn to do it. And that'll allow us to chill out the Gladiator, which is an excellent mech to have just tons of heat. Even in its current configuration, it gets to alpha very, very consistently. I'm quite happy actually with the mix that it has going on. We'll start running this over, although we'll probably turn this sucker around to fire and engage whoever else shows up. Oh, they're right over there. Yeah, we're going to turn right around and engage whoever shows up. The MML has jammed itself, which is a bit unfortunate. So we'll hopefully get that thing unjammed in this turn. And I think he did. Yes, MML 15 unjammed, so he will have his full firepower available. We'll get the Wolverine scooting along as well, so it can do some long-range blinking. A little bit of ECM protection going down, thanks in part to the Shadowhawk. And the Gladiator just so fast, plus that 10% sprint increase. I think that was an excellent pickup on that one. Howl will bring up the rear, although not that far behind. This catapult is fairly nimble. Not insanely nimble, like, say, the Gladiator is. And here it comes. It looks like it's got coalition markings. So the Oregon coalition has dropped down. They want to steal this. Is that a 30-ton Cyclops? Oh, okay. That's a 30-ton Cyclops. 30-ton Cyclopses have gigantic orbital death lasers that are in the head. You can't steal it, though. You have to build the 30-ton Cyclops. So we want to put as much firepower as we possibly can into it, like yesterday. Hopefully without hurting ourselves, although this will put me in the back. Chameleons. Oh, that's gonna be pain. Right. So I do need to put pressure down on everybody, unfortunately. Can I get a super long range angle side shot? No, not really. How about I just shoot and scoot? Oh, never mind. The Wolverine does not have shoot and scoot. So we will shift on over here. That'll put us in good range for you and... Well, really just the Hunter is what I'm really ranging myself for. Could shoot at you, but no. Hopefully that double tap to the front did not, unfortunately. Howl will now move on forward. Now Howl needs to be very, very careful. Because Howl, if dies, obviously would be extra bad. I can totally wipe you out, but I'm going to focus on this Chameleon because I have a lot of MRMs. So pulse lasers and MRMs to just absolutely blitz. I'm a little disappointed I didn't start a fire. Not going to lie, was sort of low-key planning on trying to start a fire, and it did not work. I'll shift myself up here. I'll be in cover. I'll also be over rough terrain, which is fine. And you are vulnerable, and you're 30 tons, and you have an orbital death laser. Okay, imagine hit him with that, and then followed up with the risks, so he's taken some damage, but not as much as we otherwise would prefer. However, I can probably change that. Not if I want to keep my mech alive. Alright, position up here. Yes, we're vulnerable to many, many people. I mean, but you're so exposed, it's not even funny fire. Good hits with the PPCs, and then broke his shoulders, which is good. So he's not in a great place. Unfortunately, it's back to the beginning of the phase. Phase 22, we beat him. Okay, good. Alright, the Gladiator can hopefully keep the pressure on. He is missing most of his left side, so I'm going to sprint the Gladiator to get into his left side, because we're going to try and dig. Drill, baby drill is the name of the game. So position ourselves so we're over to the side. Hi there! Okay, good hits on the close range, and there. Okay, we took out his engine. If you don't believe how deadly this thing is, go back and watch last Saturday's stream. That was the stream that went up on the 21st. We ran into one of those things, and he just kind of unloaded a gigantic laser death beam, which, you know, we were not prepared for. And it kind of flattened half of the world. Oh, I forgot you. Don't move. That's fine, because I'll go take care of you. Hello, little chameleon. The one downside to MRMs is they are not particularly accurate. However, there is improved MRM ammunition, which allows you to be incredibly accurate. So if you ever find yourself getting your hands on it, always try and make sure you also get your hands on the improved MRM ammunition to go with it. See if you can't shoot it down, and we've got the rubber out. So we don't have to worry about VTOLs.
Vehicle trash.
And so the VTOLs have been dealt with. We're now dealing with the Hunter light support tank, which is pretty badly damaged, and the Chameleon, which is also pretty badly damaged. So we're feeling pretty confident so far. Although, do you have an XL engine? I'm not entirely sure. Wherever you're going, it's ain't here. So we'll be able to just hunt him down and annihilate him. Do you have an XL engine? I am really curious, actually. You do. Okay, so you are very, 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 very vulnerable if the worst should happen. Hunter slipping over to the side. I'm probably going to open fire my catapult. Oh no, he's going to shoot the Shadowhawk. Shadowhawk was a little bit more vulnerable to stability damage, I suppose.
Not much armor left in that
I mean, what armor is almost? Oh, it's probably, yeah, your hand. Jester, come and kill this little guy because he's decided he wants to irritate me severely. And we've dealt with the Hunter. So now we just got to take out the chameleon, and Paradox is actually in an okay position to start chasing him down with his ultra autocannon. So hitting his other side, this will make him steady. But apparently we got the through armor critical and shattered his engine. Good job there. So we got to borrow some really nice mechs and fight in a not a style that we normally do battle in, mainly because normally we don't get to have these wonderful mechs, and also normally we're playing on much larger maps. But hey, it was nice to come back to sort of the old school way of playing. I'm not going to complain. Being able to drive a Night Star and a catapult, of course I can't complain. This will be another 440,470 Seables is the actual reward. The Shadowhawk took a bit of a pounding on that one, as did the Gladiator. Catapult looks to be, was untouched. And I think the Wolverine may have also been untouched, but the Gladiator just cleaning up all the kills. Let's go see what we can steal. Nova, 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 and Nova. Unless there's anything really good, that's probably going to be what we're going to take. ER medium laser, no. Flamer, no. Large laser, no. LRM-10, absolutely not. Medium lasers, heck no. Machine guns and machine gun arrays, no. Narc launchers, no. The Rotary 5 is interesting. I thought I had one, but apparently not. I may think about that one. Small and a tag, no and new. Engine cores, all sorts of engine cores, internal combustion engines, heat sinks, of which there are 70. Whole bunch of Omnipod parts, which we kind of would need. Yeah, and rack ammo, which I think I have. I do have the rack ammo. It's too dangerous not to try. We didn't get the Rotary 5, but that's fine. We also got the Chameleon part, which is okay, but I wanted a Nova part. The Nova is too important of a mech not to take. I mean, it's a clan mech. If we run into another one, it's a 50-ton Omni mech. So it's going to have automatically built-in clan tech to it. Things like clan XL engines, clan ferrofibrous, clan endosteel. These are things that you need if you want to build an amazing mech. And it has them always on, so even if the mech dies or gets mostly destroyed, you don't actually lose things like that XL engine, which is super useful. Now, you are, of course, running the risk of potentially losing that mech just because you lost the mech, and then it's going to roll to see whether or not you get it back. But hey, it's a fairly nice amount. So I also kind of think we have a Nova. So we have one laying around from back when we ran into that Hollander. So if that's the case, we may actually be able to build one, and we may actually be able to build a hero version, Fury, I think the name is. So that was the other reason why I made sure I had all of the parts to it. It's going to be 23,962 for the next 7 days to patch that all together, but you know what? That's not terrible, especially considering how much damage actually was splattered over a couple of mechs. So let's come to the mech bay to see if we actually get to build our Nova. Mediums. Oh, we got a fire starter. Omni. Oh, what? When? But first I want to pay more attention to that Nova. Where is that Nova? Show me the Nova. You have the Nova. There's the Nova. Okay. I thought I had a Fury as well to go with it. Did I sell it? I shouldn't have sold it. Huh. Yeah, apparently we don't have it. Oh, I must be thinking Warhound. That's unfortunate. I thought I had one. Maybe I did sell it. Well, in any event, we do still have a mech. We have a Firestarter Omni mech. So, yes, we will take 5 parts from storage, which allows us to build it for free. So, initially, the direct result of a dubious goodwill gesture between enemy houses during the clan invasion, the Firestarter Omni mech has proven to be flexible and highly effective medium trooper design. So, even though we didn't get the Nova, we still managed to pick up another 45-ton mech, which will help push us away from using 30s, which is always lovely. Let's go see what's actually in this mech, because I see there's a broken XL. Is it actually slated to have that XL? It is. Okay. So a 270 rate of fusion core comes as part of the Omni. By the way, I don't think we've actually shown off Omnis before in the normal playthrough. So this is an Omni mech. Omni mechs have super fast changeouts for weapons. So I can add in a weapon, and you'll notice that took no additional days. That is the big bonus about Omnimex, is the fact that you can swap and move and drag and put anything you want pretty much anywhere, and it'll take almost no time at all. Now, repairs obviously are going to take a bit of time, which you'll notice the 10 days to, well, fix much of the broken mech. The other thing that Omnimex have is they have slated equipment. You can't change them. Now, things like the double heatsink kit can be changed, but you'll notice I can't pull this endosteel out of here, can't pull this XL engine out. It is always going to be on here. I do wonder, though, if I can put... Yep, structures already. I cannot swap out the hard slated points, although I should be able to without any real trouble. I don't think I can do that. Yeah, can't swap out a gyro because the gyro is part of what makes it an Omni mech. It's a special type of gyro. And the armor, however, I do think I can replace, but most of this stuff is just you have to have it, which on some ways is really, really good because it means you never can lose it, but on other ways it really can kind of limit you. So we have Sensor's Totem, which apparently shares sensor information, will remove fog of war around their vision when a Lance member moves. So that's fun. +1 increased resolve gain for everybody, and standard cockpit and standard fire control system. So it comes with special sensors as well as an XL engine and 270 rate of fusion core. It can use a double heatsink kit and will probably need to use a double heatsink kit. What does this thing have? 4 flamers on the other arm. So 2 large sizes and 4 flamers. That's a rather terrifying combination, actually. In order to do that, it needed patchwork materials. Actually, I think I could probably build this, because I think I have a double heatsink kit. No, I don't. I thought I did. I must have put it on something else. I do have XL engines, but he already has one. He does not need it. So we don't have any additional heatsink kits at the moment, so this probably not going to work. But you'll notice 18 ballistic slots, 18 energy slots, 18 missile slots, 18 support slots. Basically the translation on this is do whatever the heck makes you happy on Omnimex. It's got parts all over the place. You can literally do whatever you want, which is one of the things that makes Omnimex so gosh darn good. However, they are limited. We can't use this because I don't have the double heatsink kit. 270 rate of fusion core is just underneath the size where I cannot put in an additional cooling slot onto it. The 275 rate of fusion core is the first time that you can start putting additional heatsinks inside the engine, which does require you to then have an engine cooling piece of equipment. I don't think I have one. Yeah, it would normally be in heat, but it would be like cooling e-cooling +1 is what it would be. And you can basically put it in there. Costs money, not a ton, but it's cheaper than putting in, say, trying to buy a double heatsink or putting in the slots for it. We are going to check the store because, one, it's been... Oh, no, there isn't going to be any stuff in the store, is there? Because there's no faction shopper. I mean, there's going to be normal stuff in the store. Let's go. Ballistics. There's that rack 5 we lost, but I'm not going to get it. Small pulse, no. The heat bank is really, really interesting, and a prototype double heatsink is also useful because I have a prototype double heatsink kit on the Gladiator because it has the radical version of it, and I have a gyro, not interested. Okay, so none of that is all that useful to me. So we must build out of what we have, and by the way, this is going to be the rest of the episode. We will attempt to construct our brand new little fire starter Omni over here. So 45-ton Omni mech fire starter. Fire starters are good. 45-ton mechs, not as good, but hey, maybe the fire starter will rub off on it. So yeah, if you're only here for more battles, then come on, join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 o'clock on twitch.tv/trk117 to see all the battles and fights that we can have. We're currently doing a clan campaign over there. We'd love to have you for it, but if you're here also for the economic building side, well, hang around because that's exactly what we're going to get done. We don't have another patchwork materials tier 3, which is a little bit disappointing because it'd be lovely to throw one more on there just to sort of even it out. That does, however, save 0.6 tons. Old patchwork materials saved like 3/4 of a ton, which was huge. I think they kind of nerfed it because it needed to be. XL engines are really dangerous, so I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't think we can handle the large laser heat because we only have 30 heat of it, and the large lasers both take 24. So that's a little bit more than what we can actually handle. Ballistics kind of come to mind. We've only got 16 tons worth of ballistic slots, though, which means I could fit the Ultra AC5 without any trouble. Or the clan... Oh, that's why we had a rack. We have a rotary clan version of it. So I could throw that in there. That gives me 3 tons, and then give me the ammunition for the AC... Yeah, give me the AC5 ammo to go with it. Oh, no, I need rack 5. Rack Ultras. So AC ammo, rack Ultras, LBX, and Gauss. And then, of course, machine guns. I don't... Actually, do I have a cheapo Gauss? Oh, yeah, that clan Gauss. I don't want to put it on here. I really don't want to put it on here. So ammunition for rack ultras, I have those 4 tons of rack 5 ammo. So we'll put 2 of those on there. That'll keep this sucker spinning for a while, I think. That'll give us 30 shots in total. That's 5 rounds of shooting at full rotation. But I don't think that'll actually work out for me. Well, if I have a sufficient recoil kit, that might be good. I don't think we do. No, so the rack would not work out. An LB, that Ultra AC5 might actually not be terrible. Do I have an Ultra AC5? I don't have any Ultra AC5 ammo. I've used all of it. So that's not an option either. I really don't want to use a Gauss on a 45-tonner. I want to save this Gauss for something big and powerful and amazing. So, I mean, I could put on a silver bullet. It's 14 tons, isn't it? So, do I have Gauss ammo? Oh, I have 4 tons of it. I even have a double ton. So, what I could do with that is a Gauss double ton. That'll give me a little bit of extra padding here in the center torso. And you'll notice it's pretty much at maximum armor almost. So I will shed from here. Can I go up to, or down to that? All right, so 0.55 tons. So that would give me just enough tonnage in order to also cram in, say, a small laser. And that's about it. We're slightly limited on that. So we could do that, turn it into a silver bullet Gauss carrier. This is very reminiscent of a mech that we have in our stream campaign, the Lego, which has a single silver bullet Gauss rifle and a single ton of ammunition, but it is a much smaller mech. Oh, we have a jump jet that I want to keep because jump jets are kind of useful. I think it's too... that Gauss rifle's too heavy. So we're a little bit limited on several things, but what we could do is turn it into a burner. I've been saying we needed a burner. So yeah, let's do that. Let's turn it into a flamethrower mech. So a couple of flamer double pluses. And regular flamers. Onto the arms. Still gives me 10 tons. We're going to give it full jump jets. So yeah, we're gonna turn this into a burner mech so we can have an easier time on base assaults. I think that's gonna work out just fine. I'll pull this off for now. If we need it, we'll put it back on. But I'd prefer not to. Beagle Active Probe will probably keep. I'm not gonna go improve jump jets. I don't think the tonnage was worth it. So we've got just under 7 tons. Okay, we're gonna have 7 tons. I'll pull one off here. Okay, pull one off each of my legs. Just to get me up to that 7. I think I got built-in Pharaoh or something. You can go 103, 103. And that gives me 7 tons flat. I'll pull the small laser off. So flamers so far. Do I have any more flamers? Because fire is very powerful. What's my current heat efficiency? 36 for 30, and if I can add 2 more, that's gonna really start to cook me a bit. So we're starting to get a little bit on fire, but this will allow me to burn through. Yeah, 7 heat each, and I've got 8 of them. So 8 times 7 is 56? Is it? Yeah, it's 56. So that's a little bit... Oh, and then, actually, no, it's more than that, because, so minus 14 off of the 56 is 42, plus 10 is 62 heat. Oh, baby, that's a lot. We still have 5 tons of stuff we can put on here. We are at 48 heat, which is obviously less than ideal. So we can... I'm really kind of liking this. Leaning fully into the whole fire starter shtick. I don't think I want to make that my only weapon. I mean, it's going to be able to just soar. Absolutely fly. Equipment. Do I need this beagle? If it's going after tanks and planes, or tanks and buildings, it does not need a beagle active probe. That'll give me the flat 7 again. And then, do I have any sort of electronic countermeasure? I do. I have Guardian ECM suite. 1.5 tons. Put it in the head. Give it a little bit of additional sensors. It has the totem sensors as well. Ooh, that turns it into a really good scout. All right, put that beagle back in it. Not the patchwork, but the beagle. Gonna move it to center torso just to keep it better protected. So it's a good scout because it has the totem sensors give it a +1 lance resolve, but it also allows it to share sensors with others. So if it's running at full speed and lighting everybody on fire, then it's going to be an even better scout. Now it's a little bit too toasty right now for my taste. It's currently burning up 48, which is less than ideal, or burning up 18. So I could throw on a mask too, just make it absolutely stupid fast. The movement already without the mask is going to be 11.7 with a tabletop of 6. That's a 6.9 movement. That's quick as all hell. Well, not all hell, but it's good. With a 210 jump distance, I mean, we got 6 jump jets on here. The mask will add 30% to our walk distance when active and 40% to our sprint, which, you know, starts to get a little ridiculous, but it does generate 15 heat per turn when it's used. That'll really start to burn us. Do I want mask? I think I do, but I'm not sure if I can pull it off. What I really need, though, is an electronic warfare gear. And I don't want to swap out the sensors to do it, so I am going to take that Guardian ECM. That'll take me down to 4 tons. So it's a fully rigged electronics mech now, with a whole ton of flamers. So to lean into that a bit more, I got a tag. We'll throw the tag out on... too many weapons. Oh, yeah, so These slots are Omni slots. They're not actually energy hardpoints. They're anything can go here. You'll notice that when I take this off, this goes to one ballistic slot is open, and now it goes to no. So there, it can have up to 4 weapons in the arm. So Omni slots take up all of them. You can use them for whatever you feel you need to, which is really cool. We'll put the tag on there. That gives me 3 tons. Do I just... do I have any more heat control? Cores, no, that's just for engine cores, which I cannot swap, by the way, so I can't go down to, say, a 250, because there's already a fusion core on this mech. No heatsink kits, and no engine refits that I can do, and yeah, it's just normal heatsinks. So then what we do is we fill out the rest with heatsinks, and that should give me a 39 for 48, so we build 9 heat per turn. We don't have the mask. I could shed some more tonnage and put on some patchwork material, but I kind of want to save it for something else. So I've been saying we need a burner boy, and we got a burner boy now. So I'm going to call it that. Burner boy. So this will be our sort of anti-structure mech, which is a little bit weird to invest a 45-ton mech into it, but I kind of like that. So we're good on tonnage. Everything's fixed, right? Yeah, the parts are destroyed. That falls behind. The mech has unused tonnage. I don't think so. Yeah, it does not have unused tonnage. You are lying to me. So yeah, this will give it a Guardian ECM for additional self-protection, also a Beagle active probe for the additional sensors to build on top of its sensors totem, which gives it kind of what appears to be a nice cheapo way of getting involved in a C3 setup. So that's going to be helpful. Do I need a fire control system? Oh, ooh, yes, I do, because I have a flamer fire control system. 25% flamer damage. And plus 25% flamer heat damage. So, okay, let's do this. So this is 6 flamers. The 6 flamers deal 7 heat. Oh no, these ones... Didn't one deal less? Oh, the pluses deal less heat damage. Right, okay, so it's 60 plus 14 is 74 heat. And a tag, just in case. What I am going to do, though, is I should put everything up in this torso. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because this thing has, unfortunately, well, it's got an XL engine. And the XL engine is saving us 7.5 tons. That's a lot of tonnage to be saved right there, which is great. But it also means if we lose the side torso, this entire mech explodes. Less than ideal. So what I'm doing right now is I'm sort of helping to bank against that by putting a whole ton of stuff, because these engine slots can be crit, and it's 3 engine crits and you're dead. So even if we don't lose the side torso, if we just take 3 engine crits, we're dead. What I'm doing by adding in all the kit onto the side is I'm hoping that what happens is if we do take crits, it'll take crits on, say, the jump jets or the tag or the heat sinks or something that I don't care so much about getting destroyed compared to the engine that is running the entire mech. But I kind of like this. I think it's pretty solid. Do one last check of flamers. Yeah, we just got a pyro flamer, which has recoil, but does a lot more heat. Ooh. Plus 15 to minus 15 damage. And 1 evasion pip ignore by the weapon, but minus 1 accuracy. Do I want to swap that in? Because that's a lot of heat. 16 additional heat. What about tag for it? We're already cooking a little bit. The heat is 10, so that'll make us even less good in terms of actually trying to take control of our heat problems. I think this will be fun. But yeah, so we're building a little bit of a burner mech. This thing is going to be able to run up to people and light them mostly on fire. If it hits them in the second turn and it's already stacked up a little bit of heat, it's probably going to be able to just shut them down immediately. And because of the way that heat works in this current version of RogueTech, where you have to be able to get underneath a certain heat threshold before you can restart, this should hopefully, fingers crossed, be stupid powerful. And it's only going to take us 11 days to build because it's an Omni mech. So 250,000 C-bills invested in that, but that's going to be a brand new mech attached to it. We are starting to get to the end of our current mech bay. So we're going to have to start looking into mech bay 3, which I don't think I'm working at. Yeah, I'm working on storage spaces. It's going to be ready tomorrow. But yeah, that's a really nice pickup. So we've got a brand new torching mech. Great for base assaults because it'll take out turrets. 1 day to finish the Argo storage space. This will give us reductions in how much we're currently having to spend on maintaining gear. So itty bitty living space is the upgrade, or is the part of the mod that causes all your equipment to cost stuff. And by getting this, we reduce the amount of cash that we have to pay in maintenance by 5%, which is helpful. It's not all that expensive either. So also we pick up the next version of it. It's a little bit more, another 30 days, and it's be very expensive. But what we need to start looking into is Mech Bay 3. This will allow us to get our third level of mechs, but also our third repair bay. And that's kind of the big thing. Now, what it needs is structural reinforcement, which is 360,000 for the next 30 days. Yeah, let's do it, I think. Yeah, we'll pull the trigger on that to get that going. And once that is done, hopefully we will be able to get ourselves all situated with starting to get Mech Bay 3. It is, of course, incredibly expensive. So once we get there, we're going to have to take a couple of missions just for cash to afford it. But the picking up the third Mech Bay is huge. I mean, already picking up your second Mech Bay is gigantic. And this just only goes on top of that. So the Kitsutsuke will be ready in 8 days. The Gladiator in 3. So we're going to just chill. 1, 2, 3. And stop. Because financial report in 2 days, and I want to go sell stuff at that point. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tarak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. Before I see a notification every time we'll swim with these videos, press that little bell icon. Come join us for the Twitch streams at twitch.tv/Tarak117 on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 to 7 o'clock. Although we may be starting a little bit earlier in the near future. We're currently thinking about doing that, and currently going through Apollo's Vipers. If you want to catch even more stuff, definitely head over. You can interact with us directly. Also, if you want to get a little bit more just in depth with this community, go click on the link down below to our Discord. We chat about BattleTech, MechWarrior well, not really MechWarrior Online, but BattleTech, Starfleet Command, and some Warhammer 40k, or you can check out the Mech HQ game that we're currently playing on through. And I will see you all in the next episode.